Greetings, dear viewer, and welcome to Purposes Crossed, where I hope that people who are called by Jesus for different purposes cross paths and exchange ideas. We continue with our series of reflections on the Sermon on the Mount, and today we will deal with the fourth beatitude in Matthew chapter 5, verse 6. But first, let us read the text in Matthew chapter 5, verses 1 through 12. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. And he began to speak and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Most of us are familiar with hunger and thirst, some obviously to a greater extent than others. But we can make two important observations about these cravings. First, they are natural and automatic. None of us ever has to train our bodies to hunger and thirst. Rather, hunger and thirst come upon us involuntarily. Second, they are repetitive. We never eat with the expectation that that meal will suffice us for the rest of our lives. Rather, we know that in a few hours we will hunger and thirst again for food and drink. By employing these images of hunger and thirst, Jesus tells us that our desire for righteousness is to become second nature to us until we need expend no energy to summon the desire. Moreover, the desire is to be repetitive. One moment of righteousness should remind us that we should need another moment shortly. However, what is this righteousness for which we are to hunger and thirst? If we think of righteousness in legal terms as being a right standing before God, then Jesus' beatitude actually makes no sense. After all, with that kind of a view, we cannot desire a right standing before God until we already have it. And in that case, it is of no consequence to desire it then. Unfortunately, we have too often heard righteousness described in legal terms. This makes us predisposed to taking a route that makes Jesus someone who utters nonsensical words. But better yet is to understand righteousness in terms of relationships. In such a view, righteousness would entail doing what is best for a given relationship in a given situation. This eschews the notion that discipleship consists of observing some universal principles. Rather, we are to struggle to determine what might be the best action in a particular relationship in a given situation, especially when other relationships also vie for our attention. For instance, what must I do if securing an important business contract depends on my working late on my 25th wedding anniversary? Or should I attend my friend's funeral or my niece's graduation? Life hurls at us one such predicament after another, and so relating rightly is not easy. That is why Jesus asks us to train ourselves so that what is not easy will become second nature. Rather than concentrate on our personal purity, a result of understanding righteousness in legal terms, we are to earnestly desire wholesome relationships. And when we do so, Jesus promises us that we will be filled. Now, this does not mean that others will relate to us in wholesome ways. Rather, Jesus promises us the satisfaction of knowing that we have treated others the way God treats them. And so that is the promise that we have, that we are treating others like God treats them. Thank you.